Another D1 exotic has made its way into Destiny 2, this time being the Hunter exotic gauntlets, the Shinobu's Vow. Originally launching in the Rise of Iron expansion, the D1 Shinobu's Vow is pretty much an identical copy to the D2 Shinobu's Vow, at least as far as the exotic perk descriptions go. Just for reference, the D1 Shinobu's Vow granted you an improvement to your skip grenade, and gave you an additional skip grenade charge. More specifically, the improvement to Shinobu's Vow gave your skip grenades far more aggressive tracking, and unless I'm mistaken, I believe it also increased the duration the skips would chase you, and it spawned an additional seeker upon splitting. Either way, the Shinobu's Vow was an okay exotic in D1. Skips were good in the Crucible, but honestly Flux and Arcbolt grenades were more popular choices for blade dancers. So Shinobu's Vow was a decent exotic in D1, but it was only really viable in the Crucible. So now in D2, the Shinobu returns as an identical exotic, but let's see if there's been any changes to its intrinsic qualities. From using skip grenades both with and without Shinobu, it doesn't seem like there's any additional seekers upon splitting. I might just be observing it incorrectly, but the only significant improvement I can see to skip grenades and Shinobus in D2 is the aggressive tracking they provide. The tracking is obviously useful, since it will harass enemies without wasting any seekers, but its potential is going to be pretty limited. Let's finalise the build before we take this into serious content. The default mod on the Shinobu's Vow is an energy bracket mod, which I couldn't understand at all, so I quickly changed it out for an Arc Paragon mod, but an Arc Ordnance mod would also work well. Since this exotic works exclusively with skip grenades, we are tied into using the Arc Strider subclass. The skill tree that we use is optional, but I'd say the stronger option is the Way of the Wind, mostly for the combat meditation perk. Just for putting your health bar in the red, your grenade and melee will cooldown at a much faster rate, allowing you to use your skip grenades more often. The nice thing about this perk is that it will work in the background for you, since you're absolutely going to take damage and get into the red part of your health at times. The question is going to be, is this exotic worth using over other Arc Strider exotics, like the Raiden Flux and the Lucky Raspberry? It will depend on the environment, so let's consider where to use the Shinobu's Vow. I can comfortably say that Shinobu's Vow and skip grenades in general are not a PvE thing at all. The tracking the skip grenades provide is handy, but the damage output compared to the new and improved Arcbolt grenades is pretty miserable. I personally would never use Shinobus in any PvE content. Instead, go with Lucky Raspberry for an Arcbolt grenade build, or Raiden Flux for the Way of the Warrior build. Alright, so the Crucible is the only place to use the Shinobu's Vow. Skip grenades have always been good in PvP, probably outshined a bit by Flux grenades towards the end of D1, but skips with the Shinobu's Vow were always viable. Now in D2, I just don't know. Are they better than Arcbolts and Fluxes? Maybe, since they do most of the tracking for you, but the kind of damage they put out doesn't seem to be that much. I'll admit that they can definitely help you win gunfights, and does complement an SMG build for fast-paced play, but given how much teams like to bunch together in D2, I've had a lot more success with Arcbolts. As far as optimising the Shinobu's Vow goes, I will still say this is it, with the Way of the Wind skill tree and an aggressive SMG or sidearm playstyle, but I just wouldn't consider the Shinobu's Vow build to be more worthwhile than a Lucky Raspberry Arcbolt build. I'm not sure what they could do to make the skips more appealing. Maybe if they upped the recharge rate with the Shinobu's Vow it could work. I'll admit that the cooldown on the skips felt brutally slow at times, even with the combat meditation perk. It might have just felt slow, because I was keeping an eye on it, but there were a lot of occasions where I really needed a grenade to finish someone off, and it was rarely ready. Anyway, to summarise the Shinobu's Vow in D2, it's usable in Crucible, pretty good at times on certain maps, but probably not worth your exotic slot. But hey, if you really like skip grenades from D1, or have had success with them in D2, the Shinobu's is going to make your skips even better. So what do you guys think of skip grenades and Shinobu's Vow in D2? Is it better than I'm making it sound? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching, guys.